Welcome to Create Your Midlife, the podcast where self-agency becomes the new feminine power. I'm Dr. Oksana Skidan, and every week we explore what it means to create your life by leading yourself with ease, clarity, and presence, one real conversation at a time. December 1st. Well, last month of 2025 is here. I hope you had a really great, fun Thanksgiving. In my family, somehow we managed to do both, to be busy, to relax, to have loud, fun time with friends on Thanksgiving Day. We had over 20 people at our table. And then at the same time, have moments with just three of us, my husband and my son, and play some cardboard games and watch movies. But nevertheless, we just finished November and now we are on to, I would say, probably a true winter holiday marathon. And when I look at December, I know that for most of us, this month feels like a full-time job, on top of all the jobs that we have during the year, right? But for me, this full-time job feels big, feels as a grand finale of the year. It's the moment where everything we've been doing, everything we've been building suddenly comes together. It's the months of gathering, of finishing, of reaching out, the culmination of all our effort, our goals, our growth, our wishes. And maybe it's a musician in me, well, for sure a musician in me, but there's one word that always comes in mind this time of year. The word is coda. It's the word from Italian language and widely used in music. The word coda means the closing section, the final section of a piece. It could be a large piece, small piece. It's where the performer for one last time brings everything together. The themes that were introduced in the composition, the emotions, the technique. It's often the most challenging part, but also the most powerful. That's how I see December. Not as a slow crawl to the finish line, not the, well, let's just survive it kind of ending, but as a coda. A moment where we gather everything we've learned, everything we've become, and make one final beautiful statement before the year closes. And as midlife women, we're not just carrying the end of the year for ourselves. I feel like we're carrying it for everyone, for our families, for our work, for our parents. In some way, we're right at the center of it all. But not in the spotlight, not being celebrated, but as the engine that keeps it all moving forward. We're the ones who make this month magical for everyone else. The planners, the coordinators, the emotional anchors. We hold the pulse of the entire household, the schedule, the feelings, the atmosphere. And with Thanksgiving just behind us, I know many of us are already stepping into December feeling tired. Tired, maybe a little behind, maybe not quite living up to the picture we had in mind for how this season should look. And I know one thing about myself. When I start creating from that place of tiredness or pressure, nothing good ever grows from it. The energy I begin with is the energy that carries through. It's like in music. If I step into the coda with tired hands, and believe me, that happened quite a few times, the ending won't soar, no matter how hard I would try. You can't fake presence. You can't fake energy. So before we plan a single thing this December, before the lists, before the decorations, before the race to the finish line, I want to invite you to pause. Just stop for a moment. Take a breath. And ask yourself one simple question. How do I want to feel this December? After all, we plan everything. We choose the events, the outfits, the perfume that we wear. We choose what song to play in the car, what road to take, what meal to make. We're constantly deciding, shaping the details of how our days look. But what if this time we also choose how we want to feel? What if that feeling became our compass, our guide, the filter for everything we say or not to say this month? Because December will be full no matter what. So, today I want to talk about that, about how we moved through this last month, and maybe even more importantly, how we want to feel throughout it. Here's the interesting part. The older I get, the more I notice that everything around us carries symbols that invite us to pay attention to, maybe interpret it to, maybe stop for a second and think, what does that mean? A few months ago, I started looking at the name of each month itself. What if each one was a message, a code, a set of clues for how we could live it? Because as adults, I feel that we forget how to play. We plan, we manage, we achieve, but we rarely create meaning for ourselves anymore. And this simple practice brought some of that magic back. So for December, I decided to let its name guide me as well. To let each letter be a reminder of how I want to feel this month. My emotional compass, if you will. And here's what I discovered when I decoded December. The letter D stands for Design Your Days. December has its own rhythm. Full, loud, beautiful, sometimes overwhelming. It's easy to get swept into it and realize by mid-month that your days have been running you instead of the other way around. Designing your days isn't about rigid structure or endless checklists. You decide how you want your day to feel before it begins. You set the emotional tone, the tempo, and the energy that carries you through. You can set one intention for the entire month or have a different one each day. Personally, I think I'll go with a different one to have more fun along the way. I want to wake up every morning in December and ask myself, what do I want this day to stand for? Some days it might be peace, some days it might be movement, some days maybe simply just to have fun. That's how you design a month that reflects life and not day after day routine that we're not paying attention to anymore. When you design your days intentionally, you stop waiting for balance to appear and start creating it. You begin to notice small joys, the taste of your morning coffee, the glow of light on a cold afternoon, and they become proof that you are the one shaping your experience. In midlife, this kind of presence becomes your superpower. You don't need to control every detail. You simply decide the feeling that will lead you. Because when you decide that, the day follows. The next letter is E. And I decided that it will stay for embrace enough. Coco Chanel once said, before you leave the house, look in the mirror and take one thing off. She meant it as a style advice, but it's genius life advice too. The idea of enough in both the way we decorate our lives and the way we carry them is where true elegance begins. This December, I invite you to do the same with your days. Before you step out into the world, take one thing off. One item from the to-do list, one expectation that doesn't belong to you, one obligation that doesn't feel aligned anymore. Because the truth is, most of what exhausts us isn't the doing, it's the overdoing. We add and add, hoping that the fullness will make us feel fulfilled, when in fact, it only makes us distracted. Enough isn't the limit, it's a boundary of grace. When you declare something as enough, You tell your nervous system it's safe to rest. You stop editing yourself for the world and start editing the world around you to feed your peace. This isn't minimalism for the sake of control. It's refinement for the sake of clarity. Every time you say enough, you choose presence over perfection, and that's what makes life and you truly exquisite. C stands for connect with what matters. December brings with it 1,000 opportunities to connect with people, with places, with traditions that have shaped who we are. And while connection is one of the great joys of life, it can also become one of its heaviest expectations. Not every invitation is an obligation. Not every familiar face is meant to be part of your present. This month, I invite you to make a simple list of connections that truly matter to you, right here, right now, in your life. Write down the people who bring warmth to your heart, the spaces where your energy expands instead of tightens, the rituals that remind you who you are. It doesn't have to be long. In fact, it shouldn't be at all, because as we learned in Embrace Enough, even beautiful connections can become too much when we lose our sense of center. Connection isn't about constant togetherness. It's about meaningful resonance. Sometimes the best way to connect with others is by reconnecting with yourself first. When you nurture your own presence, every conversation becomes deeper, every encounter more real. So this December, choose your connections as carefully as you choose your words. Let each one matter. Let each one feel like home. E is for exhale expectations. We talk so much about external expectations, what others need from us, what society expects, what family demands. But in my conversations with women, I've noticed something deeper. The expectations that truly exhaust us aren't always come from outside. They, most of the time, come from within. It's the inner voice that whispers, or more like screaming, "You should have done more." It's the mental checklist that never ends, the need to prove that you can hold it all together with grace. These internal expectations are subtle but relentless, and because they come from us, they're harder to recognize or release. Yet, they're the reason so many women enter December already running on empty. So, I want to offer you something simple: a full exhale. Let it be physical if it needs to be. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, let your chest soften. And then, with that same breath, let go of the rules you've written for yourself. The ones that say you need to be more productive, more composed, more perfect. Exhale the guilt, the comparison, the imaginary deadlines that you put upon yourself. The truth is, no one is asking you to be all of that except you. When you exhale expectations, you make space for calm, joy, and real connection to enter. And that's the breath your December and your whole being has been waiting for. M is for move your energy. Movement is life. It's the invisible current that carries everything: your thoughts, your mood, your creativity, your motivation. Without movement, energy stagnates. And without energy, nothing else in this month or in life can fully exist. You can't embrace enough. You can't connect with what matters. You can't exhale expectations, because energy is the base beneath it all. We often think movement has to be exercise, something we measure or track, but real movement is much more natural. It's stepping outside for fresh air. It's stretching your body after sitting too long. It's tidying your space, dancing in your kitchen. Yeah, that could be natural, right? Walking while you think. Every small act of movement reminds your body that you're alive and capable of generating your own vitality. So keep moving, but make it fun. Don't move because you should. Move because you can. Let it be your celebration of life itself. When you move, your mind clears, your emotions soften, and your confidence rises. Energy is the purest expression of freedom. It's how you shift from surviving the months to creating it. And that truly is the rhythm of midlife power. Something that I do actually quite often, and at the beginning I needed to remind myself, but now I do it automatically. Anytime I talk to somebody on the phone, I walk. It could be outside or it could be inside my house. Anytime I make a cup of coffee or wait for tea to brew, I move. I move around the counter, or I can do a few jumping jacks. I can do a few other moving like exercises to keep my energy going forward. So this is something simple that you don't even need to create extra time for. You blend it together with your day. You blend together with your other things that you do throughout the day. The letter B for me stands for believe in yourself. Belief is the quiet foundation under everything I do, under everything you do. It's invisible, yet it shapes every choice, every risk, every dream you allow yourself to imagine. You can have plans, discipline, even opportunity, but without belief, none of it holds. In midlife, belief takes on a deeper meaning. It's no longer about proving yourself to the world. It's about remembering that you've already done enough to trust yourself now. It doesn't matter who believes in you out there in the world. Truly, it really doesn't matter. People's support is beautiful, but it's temporary. It fluctuates with their moods, their seasons, their stories, and their beliefs. Your own belief is the only one that endures. You're your number one believer, the only one who knows what it took to get here, what you've carried, what you've rebuilt. Belief isn't something you earn, it's something you choose every single day. So this December, practice belief as your daily act. When you doubt yourself, pause and say, I've done harder things before. I can do them again. When you feel unseen, remember that visibility means nothing without self-recognition. Believing in yourself doesn't mean arrogance. It means alignment, standing with yourself through every version of who you've been. Because when you believe in you, you move from hoping to knowing, and that changes everything. E is extend kindness inward. A simple phrase that I once heard from my professor. Be kind to yourself. It sounds almost too simple, and yet it's the one thing so many women forget. We give kindness easily to others. We comfort, encourage, support, and hold space. But when it comes to ourselves, we tighten, we push, we rush, we demand more, as if compassion is something to be earned. But here's the truth. The busier you are, the more kindness you need. The more stressed you feel, the softer you should become with yourself. Not the other way around. Pushing harder when you're already running low doesn't create strength. It drains the very energy you need to live fully and move forward. Kindness is not a luxury. It's maintenance for the soul. It's the pause before the burnout, the breath before the answer, the smile you give to yourself when no one else is watching. Let kindness be your reset, not a reward after you've done enough, but the daily way you refill your heart so you can keep doing what matters. Important part is to know and understand for yourself, what does this phrase mean? And when you say, be kind to yourself, or when I tell you, be kind to yourself, what does it mean? What does it mean to you? What should you be doing more? And what should you be doing less? So think about it. What does this phrase means to you personally? The last letter in the month of December is R. And for me, it stands for reflect and renew. When my son was little, I used to tell him that before a new holiday could begin, we had to say goodbye to the last one. We'd make a ritual of taking down the decorations, turning it into something joyful and not sad, to let go of something that we used to seeing around. And it taught me something that I still carry today. Renewal can't happen without release. The same is true for us. As this year draws to a close, we need to put things away. Not out of rejection, but out of reverence. The memories, the lessons, even the mistakes, they've served their purpose. Let them rest. During this month, give yourself small moments of reflection. Sit with a cup of tea and think about what this year has really meant to you. Who you are now, what you learned, what no longer needs to come with you into the next chapter. And then renew. Make space for what's next. Space in your mind, in your home, in your heart. Release with gratitude, not regret. Because when you clear what's complete, you invite in what's alive. That's how new energy finds you. Not through forcing beginnings, but through honoring endings. Reflect and renew. It's how you make peace with the past and open your arms to the future. So here's my December for you. And before you plan another thing, another event, write another list, and another expectation, stop for a moment and ask yourself, how do I want to feel this December? Because when you define the feeling, everything else finds its place. The tasks, the plans, even the chaos. They all begin to align with what truly matters to you. And if any of these words from the months of December, design, embrace, connect, exhale, move, believe, extend, reflect, spoke to you, choose one for this week. Just one. Let it guide how you move, how you think, how you show up. This month isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about feeling your own life as it happens, creating it one conscious moment at a time. That's how you create your midlife. And that's how you remember, even in the busiest season, you have yourself. Thank you for listening to Create Your Midlife with me, Dr. Oksana Skidan. Take what resonated, leave what doesn't, and remember, the art of leading yourself is the new luxury of our century. You already have yourself, and that's where creation begins. I'll meet you here next week.